King Chris, welcome. We'll get started in a minute. I gotta clean my glasses real quick. I was gonna let a few people roll in, hopefully, and got a little. I shouldn't say cinematic. It's just a collection of B-roll from Boston Common in the Back Bay to get us in the building spirit. Oh God, it's only Monday. Hope your week is off to a good start. I did a little building offline like the Minecrafters would say, but I did a little framing. We're gonna move a neighborhood in, but it's a real easy grid, so it's not like anyone needed a tutorial on that one. We're actually jumping out of the timeline a bit. Let's see where we left things. So the north end is a chaotic mess. We haven't detailed around the edges yet. Also, we're gonna bury the highway and redo the main road that everything sits on, a la what happened in the actual city. And then a couple things got plopped down that are just like here to remind me that the aquarium goes over here somewhere, that Faneuil Hall is going to go over here. But this is the thing that I framed out. So like, it's super simple. I actually talked about it on the last stream. We loaded up the snowfall map that I had started to test build a back bay on, and figured out all this zoning essentially. So there is Storrow Drive acting as the highway over here. And I think I've named all the streets. I have Beacon, Marlborough, Commonwealth ×2, Newberry, and nope. I did not rename the last one. That's supposed to be Boylston. Anyways, that frames the Commons. Well, technically it frames the Boston Public Garden and happens to be parallel with Boston Common, so. So jumping out of order a little bit, because technically Back Bay wasn't really until 1857. You can see the original outline of the Shawmut Peninsula in red. Basically, anything outside of that is made land that did not exist in 1630, I should say, when it was founded. And the various projects that have built that land on. Now, we did the top right, which is the north end, the first heavily settled area. I should be probably working on Beacon Hill, which is off to the left, a little bell-shaped thing to the left. Still some pretty relatively neat streets. Still a little crazy though. The Back Bay expansion in 1857 though was the well planned out grid to try and hold on to the wealthy voters, and resulted in a really beautiful part of the town that is its own grid, just completely disconnected from everything. But since we kind of need people over there and a lot of zoning, and I'm excited to see what the new zoning looks like over there. What I've done is set it up as, why can I not remember the name of it? Emerging Downtown and Wall-to-Wall Office. So emerging downtown is high density residential and low density commercial. That combined with the office is what we're gonna do over here in the Back Bay. Adia, welcome, good evening. I framed out the neighborhood. It's a grid. We borrowed it from the other city. The only thing I really added that the Snowfall build didn't have is this grid that starts to connect towards the south end. But Back Bay was one of the last neighborhoods added. Completely water. They filled the land, built a nice, neat, organized road. I'm just going to rename this now because it's going to drive me crazy if I don't. And we can officially, where are we? 902. We can officially kick things off. I put together a little cinematic, a B-roll of the area to get us inspired. In the meantime, though, first, Boylston Street. I think most of these are named at this point after their actual counterparts. So this was such a late expansion. They actually, I'm assuming, borrowed the idea because it's the first time they made sense with their grid, really, in terms of a naming convention. So the streets north, the streets that run west to east, right? From the north south are alphabetical. Arlington, Berkeley, Clarendon, Dartmouth, Exeter. Apparently I broke that street. Fairfield, Gloucester, Hereford, and then Mass Ave being the one that runs out to Cambridge. And all the way out there towards South Boston, Dorchester, Roxbury. Does it curve down towards JP? I don't even know. I'm usually getting on the highway before then. All right, so what do we got? This is what we got so far. But what do I got for you? I got a quick little cinematic. So we got to pause the holiday themed lo-fi. We'll see how it works out. So far, so good. Okay, but stick with me for a minute here. So, Boston Common, welcome. Well, okay, Boston Common and the Back Bay. Those are the two things that we're focused on. Again, it's that bit here in the center of the screen. So there's some cinematics first of Boston Common, and then some of the row housing down the Back Bay. You'll know the difference. That one with the double trees in the middle of the screen running left to right is popular. This is Newbury Street. It's a very popular shopping street. Runs north to south one way. You can see the Back Bay on the right-hand side there. Boylston Street being the separation where the office buildings happen, and then right on the left-hand side. That's kind of what we're working on tonight, plus the park. I'm not supposed to be talking over it, Kung. You got to pay for those graphics, and it's like a $50 DLC. Okay. Sorry, I did talk during that, but then I realized, one, that I should just shut up and let it play. The other thing I realized is that because of the way I dropped that scene in, there's no ducking or compression on it when I talk. So I was just like, I'll just shut up. Let me actually do this. So hold on a second. If I replay that, hold on. Okay, and I mute it. Now we can fly through it real quick, and I can talk about. You can see that's the common. If you look to the left, the very grid-heavy section of the city is the back bay. So that's what we'll be populating tonight and doing our best to build that park. I'm an idiot and forgot to include the water in the public gardens on the left-hand side in the map. So we will do what we can with that hotels and retreats asset, basically. I think it's going to become the centerpiece of that park. We'll see if we get room for yet another baseball field. Like, how many baseball fields are there in Boston? Almost as many as there are Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, so Stumble Across Street loves Cities Guys. I'm recreating Boston. I am indeed, and this is console-based build. So I prepared some cinematics. And I was just going through those now to talk and get a little bit excited about what we're doing tonight, which is focusing on Boston Common and the Back Bay. And I'm building it up based on the current landmass, but we're doing it with very much an understanding of how that landmass grew and how the streets were affected by that. So nice shot of late 1700s Boston. So this is actually got to be, I'm going to guess, like 1800, early 1800s, because the public gardens didn't exist until the Beacon Hill Rope Walk fires of 1794. It was late 1700s, so for that to be there. So some shots of the common. What else do we got? Yeah, so this is overhead. Your aerial view is you're over the commons. In front of us is the Boston Public Garden, and dead ahead of us is the neighborhoods that we'll be building in the Back Bay. Carousel, perfect for that part. Exactly. All right, so we'll be building the Back Bay, which is what we're flying out to. Not everybody. Some people may know the Red Sox, and if you know baseball and you know the Sitco sign, it is nowhere near the stadium. The stadium is off to the left, closer to really the Prudential Tower, if anything. Like it's way in the back neighborhood on the left, and the Sitco sign is like way nowhere near. Okay, so this right here, let me get my bearings. That's going to be Newbury Street. The first street you see running left to right is Newbury Street. So Commercial Street, traffic is running from right to left. The next pair of streets, this is Commonwealth Avenue, Com Ave, and it's a one-way each way. So there's lanes heading right to left, and then when you get to Mass Ave, there's lanes coming left to right. And it just runs up and down that entire stretch. After that is Marlborough Street, and then Beacon Street. After that is Storrow Drive and the Esplanade, basically a man-made walkway. It's all man-made, and of course there's like a man-made park that goes out in the Charles River. Charles River, by the way, is that dirty water that the Standells love, and really any Red Sox fan loves, even if you're tired of hearing the song. But honestly, who gets tired of hearing them play that when they win? I don't know. Okay, so that is a beautiful part of town. This is some close-up shots of Newbury Street. And you can really see the smashing together of all these grids. Now, what's interesting is these were planned pretty close to one another. Right-hand side of the screen, you can see the Back Bay with the Com Ave trees. So like that thick patch of trees that runs all the way down the right-hand side of the screen, dead center into the park. That's Com Ave. In the middle So as we kind of move away from that grid, Boylston Street is the left-hand side of the park. We start to see offices and a skyscraper or two. You can actually see the fairly famous Prudential building just beyond the big black tower. As the camera comes around, you can actually get a better look at the Prudential Tower in the background. It's the one that's almost touching the top of the screen. But you can see that chaos of the streets down below. Just absolute madness underneath us with some of the later planned grids out there in front. Okay, there's a shot of the common on the right. And this is, so the pond is on our right, the public gardens. So this is Beacon Hill that we're above. And then way off to the left-hand side of the screen is essentially the West End. I don't know if it pans around that way. It does not really. And there's another shot coming. That's Com Ave towards the center of the screen. And there's Com Ave actually. Flying away from it, away from the city, and then one more shot panning across. So let's go try and recreate that in Remastered. That's the wrong one. Where is it? This one? We'll get rid of this. We'll play that one more time at some point. Okay. Don't bother DHLing, just try and barely functioning city. I'm cheating on this one. So this is like, I never use the cheats, but I am just building to build on this one. So that's another consideration. I'm still trying to make it function, but we will see. So we have Boston Common here. We're going to also start moving people into the Back Bay. And I said this before, but in case you missed it, we're doing emerging downtown since it was one of the later planned districts. That is high density residential and low density commercial. I got to remember to use those specifically. And then office space is going to be the wall to wall. Was that plazas and promenades? I forget. Okay, so we have a little bit of demand. We can start moving people into Com Ave since it's the most desired spot, really. So the way that we're going to do this is on that side of Com Ave and on that, but this is all park down the center. Yeah, I think I absolutely could do this. I mean, I've got another city, right? It's just to prove the point. I've got another city that's running. I think I broke 530 million today. We're gonna get that one to $1 billion for sure. But we're not worried about that here. So we're not gonna move anyone in on the interior there. Low density commercial. So Newbury Street is gonna be our low density commercial. These are gonna be back to back with our residential. These alleyways, by the way, were designed to hide city services. So although they're pedestrian pathways here, technically in Boston, they would be like service alleys. So this is where, garbage pickup was. Now where dumpster pickups are, is in these back streets to kind of hide them from the front of the nice, brand new, wealthy neighborhood that they put together. You don't even have to see the garbage. We're going to put the garbage. This is a dark topic for a later episode. We're going to put the garbage over here and pile it up in the Seaport area. And then when it comes time to do low rent housing, that's where we'll build the low rent housing, is on top of all the garbage that we put out there. At least at that point, they had moved on from legitimately pushing it out to sea. That's also another episode. Okay, let's drive some growth over here, right? We need offices probably, because the industry growth is what is most in demand right now. So we're just going to send this all the way down Boylston, all the way down to Mass Ave. Oh, man. Is there like a... This is why I need custom assets. I need a record store for right over here. I need a record store. What is is there a good commercial building I can put down? Where's the ones that I'm thinking of? I'm gonna put down a carport as a placeholder, as a reminder. Satellite Records used to be here. Great record shop. New York and Boston. New releases every Tuesday. I was working a job loading trucks at night, so I had time to go down in the middle of the day. Shop for records, new release day. Okay, so it looks like in all our planning of the grid, I didn't do any kind of infrastructure work though, so that's good. It's frustrating that we gotta at least fix this here. If we don't align the rest of the grid, that's okay, but the fancy neighborhood that is a grid, we could probably stand to do the water the right way. I probably could have got away with smarter pipe placement, but that's okay for now. We'll do some temporary extension cords. Where are these going to come from? Oh my God. They're like zip codes over. Are you kidding me? Can we get this thing powered? Like, do we have to pay like interstate tax for this? Like, this is certainly a different township. What was the name of the record shop? Satellite Records. I don't know if the New York shop is still there. There was also another amazing one. So I'm actually partial to Boston Beat. So Boston Beat was on Newbury Street. Man, where the hell were they? They were way down in the end. They were like, maybe, no, because the parking garage, tower, parking garage, the Indian joint, and then, so Boston Beat probably would have been up here, like second story, House Records. My buddy was more into techno, I was more into house, so we would hit both shops up. It would have been like, this is honestly like probably a wall-to-wall commercial would be fine at this point. As long as it doesn't have a City Skylines 2 billboard on it, I'm good. We'll take it. Hard transfer 303 asking for me. I'm not going to leave the club if they throw it on, especially at like 3 a.m. But you know, it's not where I'm looking for main rooms. I actually am a big D&B fan, but you're hard pressed to find main rooms for that. But my God, I saw DJ DB at the Octagon, one of the best drum bass sets I've ever seen. I also saw LTJ Bookham play a roller skating rink in New Hampshire. It got moved at the last minute. It was supposed to be at Suffolk Downs in Boston. And the funny thing is it got relocated to a roller skating rink, and they brought the same speaker system, a turbo sound system from Montreal, the same system that was supposed to do Suffolk Downs. They brought to like a roller skating rink with like a 15-foot ceiling, and I've never heard anything that loud in my life. Because one wall at one of the end of the building was like all speakers and subwoofers, and at the direct opposite end of the room was more speakers and subwoofers, and you were just in the middle of a sound cannon. And LTJ Bookham, no less, was one of the DJs. Insane. Okay. Anyways. All right, we didn't get power over here. Whoops, my bad. We'll delete all these later on too. We'll clean all this up. Boston is very dense. We won't have to worry about spreading the power building to building here. I don't know if the holiday lo-fi is the mood, but let me know. I don't mind it. I just don't know if it's the mood. And hello everybody. Welcome in. I wonder if I should have zoned these before building those side roads, huh? Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so hold on a second here. So roads, we go to the tool, we turn off zoning, and you can upgrade. Let's clean these up. And we'll let these zone after. I don't even know if I need to go this far down the street. I just really want to focus on Boylston, but I mean, we can clean it up for the sake. I had to rebuild the highways to get these roads through here. Technically, at this point in the city, this is the Mass Pike 90, and it would be not submerged. What is the not as high as the road word that I'm looking for? Why can I not think of the word? I'm gonna get there. Not suppressed. It's technically depressed in a valley, but it's not the freaking word. What is the sunken highway? Was I grasping way too hard for the term sunken highway? I wouldn't worry about it. It should be fine. Okay, so now that we can zone all the way down Boylston, let's do that. This is our office demand for now. Do I come in and clean up all these little two bangers? I think that I do. I'm not going to let these move in. Hold on. I don't want these screwing everything up. I mean, not that the streets didn't do that for us. Oh, that's going to mess those up if I go there, huh? Oh, this is passing power, though, now. Okay, we're good. We don't need these. It's sketchy, and it all falls apart if one person moves out, but... I mean, isn't that just like relationships? Okay, 3 times speed. Let's move some people in and go work on a park. I wouldn't worry about those complaints out there. I think this is what we're going with for a stadium. I'm sad that you can't walk around on it. I'm wondering if I will have it in me to redo this again on PC and get somebody like, can I just, I just want to pay Revo to do it. I want a Fenway Park I can drop in. That would be enough for me to, like a good Fenway Park asset would probably be enough for me to redo the entire build in PC. Cutout highway, sunken highway. Yeah, I could not get there. Okay, minimal demand right now. What do we got here? Let's just zone this out the way that we want it to be. Okay, we have commercial. It's gonna take a while to get all that commercial demand in there. I should plunk in like the collider and stuff in the meantime. Did I? I didn't do that. Holy! There's a little problem over here in the north end. Okay, so see, to be fair, as we rebuild the actual Boston, we're going through some of the same growing pains of Boston. And in this case, this is the great North End plague of 2034. There was actually Spanish flu hit North End hard. One of the densest populated areas of the city. And Spanish flu was bad for the north end. Okay. I'm sure that will work itself out. It should be fine. We could probably give them a little bit of help. We'll give them a little bit of help in the meantime. We'll get everything balanced at some point. But there definitely is going to be a cemetery up here. We've got to put the horse statue as well. We get the pandemics as well. Yeah, no, we're going for this, Adia. I totally meant to do this. I meant to forget about that cemetery being full and just people are just so, the bodies are literally piling up, making each other sick. It's just, I meant to do that. New Boston hardcore roleplay. You didn't know these things were possible in vanilla cities, but here we are. Okay, we're gonna go all the way down Comm Ave. Okay, everybody, if you go to Boston, not that you're gonna ask somebody for directions and they know you're not from Boston, but at least don't call it Commonwealth. I'm not looking for Commonwealth Ave. Not that you'd be looking for Commonwealth Ave, because this is a residential area. It's a really nice. It's historic. I actually do check it out, but it's Comm Ave, okay? It's Comm Ave. That's what they're talking about. Commonwealth Avenue, Comm Ave. In case you get confused, we're just gonna maybe move all this in, just so that I can go focus on the park. Oh, I meant to actually go all the way over here. Sorry. We'll see what they think of the highway. They may not like the highway there. We'll look at the real Beacon Street and see. This is in the park, so that should be good. Beautiful. It's beautiful. Here, ready? It's fixed. Oh no, we got dead people over here too. We have people dying over here already? Didn't they just move in? They just moved in this episode. What's going on over here? Is there a pandemic? Did I download DLC I don't know about? $250 years is new. Yeah, I can't believe. So it occurred to me, it's almost 2026, right? And we're 4 years from 400 years of Boston. If I really apply myself, I might be finished the city by the 400th anniversary. We'll see though. It's gonna take some focus. Those textures look a little bit funny at that distance. We do have to come in here and decorate Comm Ave as well, the park itself. This feels so wide. Oh my God, it's too wide. I made Comm Ave too wide. But I think we can deal with it. Where do I go? Here? Oh my God, it's so wide. It's so crazy wide. You know what? It's New Boston. We're making it better. We'll see what it looks like too when they fully level up. Do they get another story, or do they stay pretty low? I feel like it's very wide. Okay, we'll come back to consider this. The streets will be fine once all these businesses move in. It's the width of the park here, which if I had to come back later to clean it up, we could pinch these last couple streets in and then not have as much of a problem back here with the zoning on Beacon. But then again, I'd have to move Beacon up a little bit, which would not be the end of the world for it to hook back in here. We can make it work. We can make it work, or we could leave it. It's totally fine, and there's plenty of space in the parks. We'll probably do that. Zoning wise, are we good? It's office that we need more of, huh? I guess we're gonna fix this zoning now. So if we come back in here and we toggle zoning on and upgrade, now if we put this back, it shouldn't affect, it shouldn't. Why do I bother, game? What? I hate you, cities. If you play on console, you know the pain. That was a big waste of time is basically what that was. Oh, I was like, I'm under here like, why can't I get the zoning to pop up on this road? It won't work. And then I realized like you can't zone under a highway. Okay, so we're moving out most of these businesses that we just moved in. That's great. That's great. Thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in for this. Okay, we're gonna do the way we did in the financial district, and we're just gonna let everything move in and do whatever the heck it wants. Boston wants to be that way. Boston gets what it deserves. This is an office park now. Everything on this side of the highway is an office park. I mean, to be fair, I was going to make most of this offices, but this just makes it a lot easier. Who cares? Oh, you know what, though? Where's our dividing line on the district? I got to figure that out real quick. Because that needs to be, like, right on wherever that zoning ends. Right? Because I don't want... How do we want this to work? Not here. We'll let that be default zone. I wish we had a little bit of an easier way to do this. But let's cross our fingers and hope that we lined it up right. Almost. All right, we can see how that does with what moves in, and if it's too much wall-to-wall in the corners, we can knock it back bit by bit. Okay, well, we've got office park for days. It's speaking of park being the optimum word there, I think it's time. The Kosher, it's okay with the crazy zoning because like we're not gonna fix the things that I'm trying to recreate that are wrong in a lot of ways. So I'm okay with the craziness on, because like it's already too uniform coming down Boylston right now. So we're gonna have to tuck in a bunch of skyscrapers, and we'll see what happens on the corners, but they're all kind of offset anyways. So at one side or another, something's got to give and won't zone correctly. But that's okay. All right, what do we do park-wise? Have we painted a park or a district? I feel like this is a district. Where is... I went all the way around. Okay, let's get this right. $1634, America's first park. Boston was 1630. This space was committed as a park in 1634 to never be developed. There were 3 gigantic trees on the original map. One is the infamous Liberty Tree. which was a very popular meeting spot pre-Revolutionary War for resistance. Now, what's weird is the third tree doesn't get a lot of attention. The last one standing, though, of the three that were on that original map was called the Great Elm. They tried to, I think it was like the late 1800s. There's pictures of it. There's like photographs of it with a metal fence around it trying to keep people from climbing it and touching it. But it eventually gave way in a storm. Not as good of a tree to hang on to, in my opinion, though, since it was where they hung people. But, you know, shame the Liberty Tree didn't make it. Okay, so that is Boston Common. That's the park. This other part did not exist at the time. This was water. This is the Boston Public Gardens. Not to be confused with the Boston Garden. Home of Larry Bird. Literally, he lived there. No, he did not. But these are two separate entities here. Oh, it called those gardens. Excellent. Okay, well. Where do we go? We go here. We'll clean up the lines at some point. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to necessarily fix some of the problems, because some of that I design around that kind of stuff, Sin. Like with the, if you do the zones right, it's going to be really tough on this city, though. Let's rename this while we're here. I know, I'm surprised I don't have one hooked up for this kind of stuff. Commons. Boston Commons. Okay. We're going to knock the price down on these. You can't. I was going to say you can't go to 0, but if you can go to 0, free for all. So I think what makes the most sense is the city park. Let's get a quick overhead. Hold on a second, everybody. Sorry, I'm trying to get the freeze frame just right. Let's get inspired for a minute. We're going to need a gazebo. We're going to need a tennis court and a baseball field. I'm assuming that's a softball or a second baseball field, but we'll do like whatever small field if we can fit to there. I don't know. A lot of pedestrian paths, a lot of trees. We got to figure out the water. A lot of trees lining those paths, like big open fields, but still lots of trees. And I feel like with all the crisscrossing paths, like, I feel like we were inviting the Salem witch trials to be a thing. I think we need to back down the crop circles and stuff. Come on, everybody. People are paranoid in this state, apparently. I have remastered CS1. Was wondering if it's worth investing in 2. Now it's on console. No, it's not on console. 2 is not on console. It might be at some point, but it is not. Okay, so yeah, this is City Skylines Remastered. It's the first one. technically, right? Okay, so with this overhead in mind, let's see what we can recreate. Okay. We'll put we got to put a couple gates in just to, I think, as reference points. Yeah, definitely not worth the investment yet. Definitely hold off. Oh, okay, that created a new zone. That's fun. That's fun. Is this a new bug? I can delete this park, but I cannot. Can I move this into the other park? What? Wait. Am I missing something? Where is... Am I crazy? Can you not move a gate? You can move a side gate, right? Area must have a main gate. Okay, hold on a second. Can I now come over here? Can I select this and move it? I can move it. Yeah, you can't move the main gate though? Is it because I'm selecting the park and not the... That's what it is. Okay. Can I move this into... It's in a park area. Do I really have to... Okay. Okay, game. CS Remastered 1, mouse 0. Okay, so back into park tools. And now that we got a gate down, now we paint the park. And then we rename it. Jesus Christ. That's fun. That's fun. It's nice that this was play tested to be fun to play, since it is a game, and user experience would probably be one of those things that you'd want to focus on, you know, for retention, and so that people don't get mad at your game because that's stupid. No. Not as stupid as that, but this was going great, and then I put a park gate down. I could just not use gates, and I could just not. The LUTs are kind of cool, yeah, for changing the look of your build. We're on warm. Some of them get ridiculous. When we work on the highway project, we can throw it in the 70s. This is where we'll stop designing the transit in the 70s and never touch it again. That's what that's for. Okay. Guys, why are you so thirsty over here? Can you not just go borrow some water from across the street? Would it really kill you? Just, you know, run across there to use the bathroom? Okay, they're all happy now. Don't worry about them. They're fine. Okay, third try is a charm here. Let's clean up our lines because Does it seriously not let me clean up that line that close to the gate? Like, it has to be, the bubble has to be that big across the street? I don't even understand. Oh yeah, no, this is again the realism here. The waterworks is awful. It's a bunch of swamp water when it finally comes through the pipe. I shouldn't say that. Infrastructure wise, like, and maybe I'm just used to it, but like tap water up here, it is perfectly palatable. I like, don't get me wrong, like I filter my water when possible, but we got like a filter like built right into the fridge, you know. I just fill up the bottle and you're good to go. I don't know how Floridians can justify paying a municipality to deliver swamp water to their doors, though. That I don't understand. That Florida tap water, there should be like a warning on all the taps, like this is not for drinking. But they don't warn you. They don't tell you that. And they don't care in the restaurants either. They'll just, you know, here's some water. Here's what we call water. Okay, take 2 on the rename. Throw the price back down. Okay, just because we've been here for a bit and some of you are new, I'm going to show you some real life inspiration. Don't confuse it with Cities 2 footage. Where's my music? My music's over here. Let's do that. Okay. So here's some footage of what we're working on tonight, or what I'm proclaiming that I'm working on. We'll see if I ever get there. Let's make a park. It's about time. Okay. Did he pass away? No, we did not. I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought that. I don't want to bring the mood down, but damn, Rob Reiner. So many good movies. Okay, anyways, pretend I didn't say that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to... we don't need current events. Certainly not that kind of stuff. Okay. Too late. A couple gates in the corners? And just free passage in the center? This is just more just decorative, if anything. Let's line it up kind of on the edge of the grid. We're going to bust out a bunch. I mean, I guess we could have, like... I'm going to have some crosswalk paths and things. I'm going to have to look at where cross streets come in. Who knows at this point? Because these aren't going to be especially accessible until we put some crosswalks here and there. Okay, and then what else are we trying to get in here? Apologies, let me pull up that cinematic one more time. Here. So if we zoom in, let's grab the baseball field and the tennis court and see what fits. And then see if we can find that. I think we're going to have to use that asset from the hotels. Okay. How big is the baseball field? Oh, man. The baseball field's going to be huge, right? Can we can dupe this one, right? Can I eyedropper? Yeah. Okay. This is massive for in here, right? I guess, you know what? It's not outrageous. We're definitely going to want to mess around with the terrain a bit and rethink where our gates go. But that could be... Holy cow, look how fast the back bay is filling up. That's pretty good. Okay. That'll be full before we know it. We're going to have to do Beacon Hill is probably going to be the next neighborhood. Okay, so I'm sorry. So what are those other little fields that we have? Are those in parks? I haven't used these enough. Where are the stadiums and stuff? Here. Okay. What do we have for like little... Is there like a little cricket field or something? What's the round ones? With this... That could kind of... I think that could work on the corner here. Do we ditch the gates and just have paths? And is this the main gate that technically makes it a park? I don't want to delete it. I want to move it, which we can do if I select it correctly. I'll just throw that over there for now. We're going to see what we can do for the train. I wish we could rotate this, but it's okay. Let's give it some space. Well, we don't... I think... What? Do I want a path up the middle? I already forgot. Yeah, there is a path, technically. Dead center from Com Ave up the middle of the garden. And then it hooks to the right. So, basically here. So let's line this up. So it's right there on the grid. And then let's come out 4 before we come out there and bring it. Kind of put it up the middle here because I want to smooth this terrain out a bit. Hey. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just stepping back to think about this for a second. Can we make that transition less obvious? Because that is unfortunate. Can we do that? That's pretty good. Oh, they're already at it? I wish I knew rugby terms. Right? Is that what Australian football is? Rugby? I don't even know. I'm assuming it looks a little rugby-ish. I don't know anything about the rules. I think rugby is very confusing to an uninitiated American because like it, in a lot of ways, like it looks like they're about to play football, but then there's no traumatic head injuries. Like the lack of helmets is confusing. You mean like you're not trying to murder each other with your heads? I don't understand. Okay. So we could bring this over a little bit now. Don't mind all the power icons. I hope it's not too triggering, but we'll get there. What if we bring it like that? And that should give us technically okay. We don't need these until we figure them out anyway. So here. I copied all of those over thinking like, oh, we're gonna do the gates and the fences first. We're not. We're definitely not. I gotta figure this out. So back to the flatten. Can we bring that out enough where it's not annoying to the road or the paths? Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't worry about this. This should be fine. I don't think it's a big deal. I think the helicopter will probably get here.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Helicopter? Okay, there's the helicopter. We're good. Okay, everything's good. Everything's fine. Little toasty marshmallow of a building for a minute, but who doesn't like crispy noodles? Okay, so that's coming up through the public garden, assuming... Huh. Where is that? Okay, where's that park object now? It's in the hotels and retreats. What does hotels and retreats look like? And where is it in the menus? Or is it not? It doesn't have a... No, they hide it on you. Because like everything else gets its own tab, but not this because it's so inconsistent. Okay, so I think this is the one that we want to try and cram in here. So let's put it here for a minute. Please tell me we can path on the other side. Can we rethink this cluster now? Okay, let's get rid of this for a minute. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed one, there's no way it's gonna line up straight, right? I'm gonna have to rebuild the road to shimmy it. No way. No. Okay, I'm totally fine with that. There's no way it actually connects a path on the other side, right? That's just a far-fetched idea. They'll never actually walk from Com Ave down to here because it won't actually connect the path, right? Right. Will you walk? Will you walk there? Will they walk there? Oh, please tell me they will walk there. It's not... It's shameful that I am this far in and forgot to include the water. But it could work. We could get decorative, you know, we're going to have to get a little creative with some of the paths. But things I will correct in the PC version. Did Beltram fire helicopter response yard? Yes, I did. That's so there's a couple things. There's a couple services going. We're fighting the pollution in the bay, which already is not great. Oh, did I put a regular? Well, that's part of the problem. I put a regular ass sewage outlet there. I tried on the first one and I was like, whatever. That's good. Okay. Well, again, if you love that dirty water, that's what we're doing. Although then again, we've got this that really counters quite a bit of it. Police and fire helicopter, and I also dropped in a university temporarily. I'm kind of going crazy though, because do we build Boston College, Boston University, MIT, Harvard, Simmons College, Emerson University? What's in Southie? There's got to be something, right? I'm forgetting. But like, do we build them all? Do we make it a college in Tech Town? Technically, we should make the park first, huh? Maybe that's a good idea, Mouse. Stay on task. Okay, I can't cram the baseball park and this on the same side the way it is. So we're going to take some creative liberties. Is this the main gate? Let's put the main gate up here on the corner of Boylston and Tremont. Right? Tremont, I think. I got to come in here and name some of the main ones. I'm not going to name them all. But any of the ones that are like structurally functional. I got to figure out the water. They should let you put water in after the fact. Oh, do I need to use... This is not quite going to line up, right? This is kind of annoying that they use the different path. How does it look when you lead a regular pavement path into... Why am I here? Into that. Let's see. I think I can live with that. That's fine. We're going to have to use the, what do you call it? It's the earthquake sensors in order to pass the power. I don't want to run stuff through the park. Make all the colleges and universities. I will do it. I forgot Northeastern. I can't believe I forgot to mention Northeastern, considering I dropped out after a semester there, but still, it's my alma mater. It's my almost martyr. How would you say that? It's my almost martyr. All the educational buildings. How samey it will look. Yeah, I mean, there is quite a bit you could do though. So first of all, there's 3 different university types, right? Which all have their own color theme. So there's 3, right? Right? Regular, trade, liberal, and uni. So there's 3 right there. And then if we jump into education, if we do this, There's all kinds of stuff we could do to make it look, because we could just turn the Hadron Collider on. Everybody's educated anyways. Then again, if we turn the collider off and try and do it the old-fashioned way, we could make it look like all these are populated. But the like the elementary school and the high school could very easily be part of a university campus. And then you have the actual university, you have the Green Cities University. So like there's a lot of there. Oh, and of course this old school one also, which you generally don't see both of on the map. You have to flip that option to see both. But there's definitely ways we could build enough different unique campuses for at least 3 main universities. The wall could be another one. 4 or 5, I mean, at least 5 or 6 campuses you could build pretty easily, I think. But then again, like, where do we cram it all? Even 25 tiles, we're gonna run out of room. Hey, we got some problems. But that's okay. What is the issue actually? Hold on a second. So we have not enough workers, but we don't have any residential demand. Is it just an age thing? Is it a timing thing? No, I don't want to go here. I want to go into info views. Unemployment 45%? What? Is it because they can't get to work? Make sure it's off. Okay. Yeah, what's that about? What am I missing here? So that's, not enough educated workers. That's fine. That happens. Oh, I'm interested to see what this is going to look like when this upgrades all the way too. This part of town is going to be interesting when it's all packed in. What can we do to like incentivize people? We're not really giving them great options for getting to the university. Where's the university? University is just like over here on the edge of this road that doesn't connect back to anything. I mean, at least we could connect it to Beacon Hill for now. That's so lazy. That's remarkable. I mean, I could just do this at least, so people can get to school. Welcome, North End, to the rest of the city. You don't have to cut through the offices now. Okay, they can come visit the park, which is still a work in progress. So let's throw some stuff in here and then figure out where it goes. Do we do the regular park objects? I think there's enough space here that we could consider these. But I'm not married to them. Is really if they're the right aesthetic choice. If you've been here before, you might have heard me rant about the chessboard. It's almost a guarantee that that's not getting included. Just because we probably could get a few of these in. One of those should be the centerpiece of a ring of satanic pathways. It's really kind of weird. I think crisscrossing's got me all bugged out. I think they're trying to tell us something in the 1600s with the paths, the crop circles. Have to head out picking up Mina. All right, well, enjoy. Oh, Steelers game. 14 degrees in the Steelers game. Enjoy. I'll be in the heat. Cherry blossoms. We'll figure out a spot for it. Okay, climbing frame, probably not. Trampoline park, probably not. And then we got props and stuff. Okay. We don't care about anything, I don't think, in the amusement park. Oh, there was a carousel, wasn't there? Although that might have been like I think that was a temporary fair thing. I don't think that's not there all the time. We could put the piggy train there though. That could be a permanent fixture in New Boston. But we don't necessarily have to do anything here. These are actually not bad. These little benches. Can we pass power here? I mean, I guess like I'm just gonna run the power here for now. We'll do this. Temporary. We'll fix that. Oh, for sure, the emerald necklace. Look at you, Joy. All right. So check it. So we built the. This is very messy, Joy. Bear with me, but we're staying very true to form. We created the very hectic north end. It's all super narrow streets. When I figure out what I forgot about pedestrian zones, I don't know. I'm gonna upgrade this to cobblestone, and this is gonna have a very different look. But it's all super tight. What do we do? 2x2s, 2x2s, high density European. And when we get the cobblestone in here, it's gonna be great. Although I wish it was still packed with cars then. But we'll keep working on it. This is super chaotic for right now, but so is actual downtown Boston, the offices down here. But tonight we started moving people into the Back Bay, which was Boston's attempt to hold on to the wealthy voters, and built a nice fancy neighborhood of residential townhouses in the 1850s. Really is a kind of a century-long project, but it really got moving 1857. And of course, all that connects through to the public gardens and the common that we're working on right now. And I am planning to run this all the way through Ave, into the Fens, over to wherever this baseball park will sit eventually. So I'm going to try and do as much as I can with the 25 tiles. We'll see. I wouldn't worry about the unemployment problem. We're honestly, it's kind of funny how much this is paralleling actual Boston, but we had a massive death wave epidemic up here. There was water delivery problems because the public works is unreliable. And now we're having massive unemployment waves while the rich people are moving into their new neighborhoods. It's remarkable how much this is unintentionally paralleling the actual development of Boston. By the way, I wouldn't worry about the fire. It's totally fine.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Oh, they put it out right when he pulled up the binoculars. Okay. Oh, no way. That's too cool, Joy. I hadn't planned to do the beaches. So if we look up here, I'm going to take my first crack at actually doing an airport. And apparently I stamped down a couple airport zones. Don't worry about that. And then the East Boston neighborhoods have been getting built up recently. If you don't mind planes landing overhead, it's totally fine. Pretty nice new spot that is getting gentrified right now. And then we're gonna do a little bit of Charlestown. I don't know if we're gonna get into Bunker Hill, but definitely we're gonna get into Cambridge, MIT, Harvard. I've already carved out spots for Boston University. We were kind of talking earlier about all the options that you have for all the different university campuses, because there's 3 different university types, plus if you have the DLCs, I think you can theme out at least another 3 with the different assets that we got. Yeah, there is a lot of history. I wish I could go further out than the 25 tiles, but unfortunately it is not really that possible. It would have to be multiple maps, honestly. Because the greater metropolitan area is 5 million population. And the funny thing is, like, people, I mean, this is particularly hectic, but we're trying to recreate that hecticness. But what a lot of people don't understand is how much it grew over time. It's infographic time. How much it grew over time, right? Like it's crazy how much it developed from its initial landmass. And you can see the shape of the neighborhoods that are there are very much constrained by the initial landmass. But all these projects that then later developed more and more land, kind of filling in these gaps. But tonight, Back Bay, and again the public garden that you see kind of cut off was rope walks, so that you need these giant long buildings to make ropes. If you wanted a 300-foot rope, you had to have a 300-foot building. So these rope walks, unfortunately, were very flammable and all burned down. And when they burned down late 1700s, they commissioned that and claimed that space for the public gardens. That's a good point. I hadn't picked up on that with the park series, but now I know. Well, and you already know what part of the country I'm from, so I'm surprised it took me this long to get to this. Okay. To the park. We're trying to do the park. We put down some assets. Sin, I believe you mentioned that there's some good stuff in the nature reserves, and then I never got to it. So let's go take a look over there. Just a quick look down here. I mean, just because, can we get a little cart for Carl somewhere? Is this a claw machine? Coin game? Okay, so what do we got in the... That's zoo. We don't want any zoo exhibits, but what are the props? Benches? No, not much. Okay. Can you put these in another park? Yeah, of course. Okay. Okay, so what do we have? A campfire site, kind of cool, but not really the vibe we're going for in Boston Common. Please don't light fires in one of the most densely populated urban areas in the entire East Coast. I think it's insane. The very tip of that peninsula in particular is just like so many people. Okay. Tents, probably not. What do we got? How big is this thing? That's not terrible. We could put it like up towards somewhere up the hill, because it would be kind of decent to see down the hill. But there's not, like, I didn't like build. It's definitely an incline. I tried to capture the meter elevation as accurately as possible, but it's not quite needing that. That's a big viewing deck. A little longer. These are nice. I don't know that they're going to fit here, though. We definitely should try and find a way to work some of these into the shore. The bouldering site could work. We'll find a way to crisscross that into the paths. That's not a bad looking asset. It's actually pretty nice. Oh, it's big, huh? That might be a little too big. Right, there's one. I forget the name of the house that's there. I mean, that's not necessarily, if we space that out right. I don't dislike that. Okay. These aren't in their final spots, by the way. We're just kind of figuring out our palette here. What other little objects? What other little Like, some of these are very cool. I still don't understand why these aren't under their own DLC tab. I'd like to bend somebody's ear whoever decided that everything belongs in the tab except some things. You'll find them on the other tabs that already exist. These are really nice. So this is what the hotels and retreats, the tourist park. So if you drop this in right here, right, we can come into the building and you've got multiple variations. I think a lot of people miss this. So that's got a little souvenir shop. This has like little market stalls. So you can get some different vibes. Also, you can use the same building and have it be less repetitive because it's technically the same footprint, but different variations on it. And they'll just pop at random, but you can go in there and choose them rather than have to bulldoze them and put them back. Some people missed that one. Ooh, props and plazas and promenades. Yeah, that's actually not bad either. I can't believe I am such an idiot. Like, I built this entire map and I am kicking myself for forgetting the water in the public gardens. I'm really regretting that now. Things that would be easy to fix on PC after the fact. Okay, Sin. I'm not going to forget that. Everything should be unlocked too. So what do we have here? Oh, actually, you know what? We're going to have to use some of this stuff too. This is not really pertinent for now, but we're definitely going to want to use some of these because these would fit really well, especially in this newer seaport. Oh, that's a fancy one. Sunken Plaza. Okay. Couldn't find that word earlier. Wouldn't worry about it. Give me 2 seconds because our lo-fi holiday music has expired. So I guess we'll go with the tried and true. Where is it? What do we got here? What is hopeful synthwave? No, it literally says drum and bass. Why is it on this playlist, Epidemic? There you go. I feel more hopeful already. More hopeful that this is actually synthwave. So, what do we have here? And how big are these? Ooh, that could work. And did these have variations also? No. I feel like some of them did. Maybe I'm imagining that. I love this one so much. I don't think it fits here, but oh my God, I love this asset so much. This is so great. It's ever so slightly mildly infuriating though. I'm pretty sure it's not. Yeah, this one has a concrete path on the outside of the bush that this one does not have. So like you can run a path right here, but you cannot run a path here because what? Okay, prove me wrong, game. Prove me wrong. I could delete you now. Just out of spite. You too? Same DLC, get out of here. Okay. What? It doesn't look right though, right? Like why not? Why would you have this beautiful structure, brand new plazas and promenades, and you're not going to make the landscaping parallel on the other side? I am so triggered. I am so triggered. Okay. These are good. I don't know. They're too modern though they're too modern for what I'm looking for over here. Okay, let's see what we got. City Skylines Remastered. Oh, I got it. So I got one back. By deleting it. Some of them do have variations. Okay, I'm not going crazy. Well, at least that is not the litmus test for it. What is this? A modern fountain. How big is this? Like that we could maybe work in there. A modern sculpture? Like we could get that somewhere. These are all things. Okay, we gotta figure out the footpaths. And by we, I mean help. Joe, I gotta watch more of I gotta get more inspiration on the park paths. So let's figure out, we gotta get the gazebo to a good spot kind of out in the open. Hold on, before I forget, now that I'm looking at it, I got it pulled up on my other monitor. We need, before I forget, does this have to be, this has to be on the road? Okay. So we'll figure that out. We'll get the double tennis courts in there. This is pretty close. This is pretty close. We're gonna move this house over here. Some crisscrossing paths, a statue or two. The gazebos, the path, we got this. We're in excellent shape here. Except now I put all this crap in the way, I gotta move it. Look what it does to the terrain too. It just hates us so much. Move it, you just grab that, you hit page down a couple times, everything goes with it, terrain and all, the roads, like, it just smooths everything out. So easy. I'm not jealous. Nope. Okay, let's figure out a footpath or two, because that's really going to help move a couple of these ideas around. So, also, why did I just plop this boulder park up here in the middle of nowhere? That's great. And this we don't need at the moment, but people are already enjoying it, so I guess they can continue to enjoy it. So we'll come out about halfway. You know what? No, this one actually. So let's see here. We'll move this. This kind of becomes the centerpiece of this area if it wasn't for this stupid rock some idiot put in the way. It absolutely destroys the terrain. It's like an Instagram model trying to Photoshop its hips. And it's just like, whoop, taking everything with it. Okay. Nothing a little smoothing tool can't fix, right? Or the level tool, rather, I mean. You kind of have to, like, force it out. And then we'll move this and then try and do it again. Okay, well, the boulder doesn't have to stay there, but that definitely looks a little bit better. And then that becomes the centerpiece of this next area. Now, what's some good trees for up here? The oaks just aren't the right color. Joy, just so you can help too, like, just to put that energy out there, we would love a Fall Trees Mr. Mason DLC pack. I'm still willing to put down money for that. Just if you have any connections that are still listening, just throw that energy out there. Just because I haven't said it yet today. I keep putting that out there. Eventually it will happen. Okay, we need a good tree. That isn't coniferous, or at least not the straight up conifers. What's our big tree? I love the yews, but where do those grow? Like that's not a up here thing, right? Grow across North America, Europe, and Asia, thriving in woodlands, grasslands, Pacific yew. In Canada as well. Okay. Okay, so maybe we can throw some yews in the park. It's one of my favorite looking trees. So let's see here. What does it have in the front yard? And how repetitive do these look when we can't rotate them? Right, they don't rotate when you use that function, right? No, they all do the exact stuff. They're the same pattern. Okay. I didn't mean to spam that many of them. Okay, so let me see here. What do we do with the tree? These are all trees that were here. Okay. Let's get these out of here. Let's look. Is that a tree? Get out of here, tree. So if we fill in a little bit of the space, I don't want it to be too linear, or not linear, but too much of a straight line around the building, but it is pretty accurate to the tree lines. Very artificial in the park, because a lot of these trees were long after the park itself had stopped been using for cow pastures, and they started to plant more trees in it again. But it's still very, very, very much open spaces. What does Mr. Mason have for trees that we could use in here? The lindens work? Not really. Okay, this is not a judgment of this song, but it is much too ambient for my mood right now. Sorry. There we go. Not palms for sure. Those could work for a little variety, because the yews by themselves super repetitive, but if we start to mix in a random palette here and there, because we want to create a couple, and I guess I should probably do this first, because we want to create a couple artificial lines separating a couple bits of the park. So we can kind of crisscross a path. What is the zoning like on this thing? So I have to kind of we kind of have to move this thing. So let's put that over there for a second. If we bring this path over, oh, I can't connect it from the path itself. Okay. So the question is, do we connect it direct? I don't think so. No, I think you connect it. Does it have a? There's the 90 snap, right? Right there, right there. And then if we just come right from on the corner, and then as close as we can to the baseball field as possible so that pedestrians get hit in the head because there's no fence. Or say, can we? I'm gonna complain about this every time. There's no backstop. Like it's the dead zone. Like last game you'll ever watch. Got us great seats on. How we doing over here? We need lots more office space, huh? Well, did we water over here? I don't think that I did. It's crazy how much office we got going here. Oh, we can come all the way up here with it. There we go. Beautiful. And then we can connect it into the existing downtown, although this is going to get... This was hastily put together. These lines coming up from... Well, this is technically St. James, right? If this is Boylston, I think this is St. James. These basically were artificial... Like, this was the coast for a bit. Before this was the coast for a bit. Like, they kept pushing the roads out, essentially. So they're fairly parallel, but also a little all over the place like the rest of the city. What is up? Welcome. Back at the ballpark. Yeah, this isn't where this is not where it's staying. And I wish we had a better option. And I keep saying I'm gonna find somebody to make a Fenway and just do it on PC too. But in the meantime, we gotta put a dump in over here. All this stuff's gonna be temporary. We'll figure out the infrastructure and where it sits better at some point. But for now, we want it to function a little bit. Where do we put? I mean, I guess we'll throw it down on Mass Ave for now. That's fine. We'll probably do some up in the Beacon Hill West End area. A little bit of city service. But we can look at a couple different things. Okay, hopefully that will fix our trash problem. What are we at? 17,000? That's not terrible. We're not growing the fastest, but we're also just working on a stupid park right now. So we can crisscross a couple more paths. I gotta figure out over here. You know what? Let me just move this thing. We'll throw it up here. We'll figure out what to do with it when we get to the top of the park, but it is not a here thing. This, let's use the red one. This is a here thing. So let's see if we can do this. We'll grab the paths. This may or may not work. Is this going to break? This is probably going to break the path, right? Okay. All right, that works. Am I going to break it doing this, though? Can we get away with... I don't think I can get half points in without breaking it, can I? Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on. I just want to make sure I don't save. We're saving New Boston over New Boston, not over my $533 million city. Okay, New Boston. Saving New Boston. Okay. So let's connect. Okay, perfect. Right there, we'll move the node. Now, the question is, can we get right in the middle without distorting it? No, we cannot. Okay. Can we... I got to make the circle a little bigger, huh? If I want to do that. Can I do that? I mean, it still works. Who cares, right? Awesome. Okay. Well, we got our weird crop circle gazebo. That's most likely at the spot of the tree where they hung a lot of people. I wouldn't worry about it. I just keep thinking about it, though. It's fine. It's some dark history in Boston. We'll get to it. I am planning, I don't know if everybody knows, you may not, some of you are new here. I am planning to do, I've been planning it for a while, like half of it is written, a documentary on why Boston's streets are so crazily shaped, and you're hearing some of that as we go through rebuilding this. Let's see, can we, nope, a little less. That works. And then we'll fill in the trees kind of on the inside of this pathway. See if we can get one more over here. Actually, two more, right? There's going to be a few too many lamp poles, but... Okay, let's move these guys around. We don't need another gazebo at the moment. We can always go grab another one. And let's move this. We'll bring this up top, or maybe this helps fill the space down here in the public gardens, because we're going to need some stuff down there for sure. Probably two of those. We make a little plaza. Sorry, whipping the camera around a little too much here. Okay. Okay. Nice to see someone doing it right. Sorry, I'm way behind on chat, Sergeant, but nice to see somebody doing it right. As long as, if you're talking about me, I'm doing you proud then. I hope. I did put there's a lot of thought and research and also just lived experience in the area, but also I guess I shouldn't just say that, there is a lot of reading and research and yeah, I've got a little, actually, you know what, here, you want a little teaser, Joy? You ready? Here, some of you are new here, stick around. Here's my little teaser for New Boston. Originally, I was going to do it all as a cities one build at the same time, and I'm separating the ideas. We're doing New Boston, we're doing the build, I'm doing it live on stream. I'm also going to put together some episodes where I explain it in a little bit more detail with some infographics, but then just totally separate from cities, documentary style, New Boston. So forget the bit at the end where I talk about cities, but I'll let the whole thing play. Check it out. I'm excited, and I'm trying. The more I talk about it, the less I can't back out. Coming in 2026, New Boston documentary. Well, not New Boston. It was going to be that. Anyways, it's going to be something like the shape of Boston streets, a deep dive into its history, something like that. Here's the trailer. That's the wrong one. That's not this one. $550 million years ago, a chain of volcanic islands broke away from its supercontinent and drifted north.
A few 100 million years later, those islands would crash into the east coast of what we now call Massachusetts. As recently as 25,000 years ago, the region was buried under 4,000 feet of ice. But as that ice receded, it revealed a glacial till of sand, gravel, clay, and a landscape ripe for life. Native Americans would first settle the land some 12,000 years ago. Although we know little of this time, changing sea levels has erased much of its history. At the time, sea level was 164 feet lower, making Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket part of the mainland. The Boston Bay Area was plentiful with shellfish, especially oysters that thrive in the warm, shallow waters. And the Boston Harbor Islands, with their slightly warmer climate, were ideal for farming crops. In the 1500s, Europeans seeking the Northwest Passage, the fabled sea route leading to the riches of China and the Far East, would instead stumble upon a new world, and in doing so, would also set out to colonize it. After 10 months at sea, the Mayflower would deliver the Pilgrims to Plymouth Rock, founding the town of Plymouth in December 1620. Many settlements soon popped up, one of them Charlestown, but due to the brackish water, a handful of settlers would relocate to the nearby Shawmut Peninsula. And it's here that our story begins.
All right, this is all based on the city
In this series,
stuff.
I'm going to be rebuilding Boston in city skylines. It will be something new, but also something born from its own history. It's a build inspired by its own mistakes. And some of those mistakes will be repeated, because it wouldn't be Boston otherwise. This is a bit of a departure for me, so please stay tuned for episodes when they're ready. I hope you enjoy this new version of Boston that will be built up as we learn about its past. Welcome to New Boston.
If I keep talking about it, I'm probably going to do it eventually. So it was somehow going to be all this one soup of an idea, and now I'm at least separating. And building things a little bit out of order as well. Like, I think the convenience of building things in a certain way. Whoa. I had my headset up really loud. That music was like so loud in comparison to the video I just played. I think it should be okay for you though. Waterworks, yes, Waterworks is we're doing this hardcore role play. Waterworks for the city of Boston, horribly unreliable. I'm going to I'm gonna get some cinematics and inspiration together for MIT. We're definitely gonna do a university build for sure. I think that's the one that makes the most sense because it's sitting in such a prominent spot right across the water. Would be a beautiful spot. I will think about potentially pinching this in because this is there a fire over here? What do you got going on? The police? Okay, so sorry, we were in the middle of this. I moved some stuff around. If I haven't mentioned, I have ADHD, so I do bounce around ideas quite a bit. But we'll get there. Okay, so this is not gonna like what I'm wanting to do, so we're gonna keep it focused on this kind of spoken hub here, right there. Okay. I mean, it's not, we're not going for one, but you know, where is it? New Boston. Nope, that's New Boston. Now I'm doing the wrong one again. Okay, right? That's not bad. We're getting it. Gotta fill in the trees. But that's the thing, you gotta get the connective tissue in there first. Yeah, for sure. B-roll wise, like I have it on my to-do list. I've got some shots that I want to get, but I also have had pretty good luck at least getting establishing shots for a lot of what I want to do off a story box. That and a lot of the documentary I want to do is also going to be dependent on a lot of old pictures and survey data and like literal film from Boston Public Library. Like the cool thing is though too, like so much of it is available. I don't even have to like it's very easy to access from like Boston historical sites and things like that. But at least a lot of what I'm trying to do with history of zoning and growth and weird statistics that not everybody needs to look up. But there's usually an office for that, which is awesome. Okay, and by support from viewers like you. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's see. What else? Okay. Joy, Sin, Sergeant, anybody. Like, what am I forgetting for buildings? Like, what do we need to fill in some of these gaps? I guess I could look at doing some paths in the public gardens. So regretful that I didn't think to water those. Do we hide? It's not worth hiding an outlet, right? Because it's just gonna overflow on me, and I'm gonna. It's unfortunate. I did not think about that. Are there any good water structures that I could leverage? There isn't, right? You can't really like cheat lakes after the fact. I could bring one in. We could have just a little natural. I do have a tunnel under here. We could have a natural, like we could rebuild all this. We could have a natural water feature that comes through here, and then I don't even need this thing necessarily. Like we can completely customize it, which is what I should have done in the first place, right? Okay. So, what can we do water-wise? Can you edit the underlying map? I can still edit the map, but... It's not the open space that bothers me. It's like I'm not trying to do one-to-one, right? But that water is a very prominent feature of the public gardens. It's very prominent. Do I bring a lake in, or do I just deal with what I had kind of being set? I mean, I did just delete it, but it's not like we can put it right back. Because the other thing is like, what do we even do with that space? Because like it's basically Storo Drive and the river there. I don't think there's anything there. I'm trying to think. Like when you come around here, there's nothing there. I mean, the Esplanade on the right, but like there's nothing that we couldn't bring water in. Yeah, I don't want to have to. The outlet I know is going to overflow, and it's just going to bug me. If anything, we could run the overflow off, like, under Beacon Street. That could work. Okay, hold on. Let's do this. Hold on. Well, you know what? I'm torn here. Save the game, bring in the water, see what it looks like. That's probably a good point. That's probably a good point on the save game. Also, I didn't do a backup yet, so I think it's the time. Hold on. New save. And New Boston. Okay. Can I go through where there's a tunnel? Like, can I bring water through there? Oh wait, hold on. This one. I'm just gonna bring the seabed here. Full strength. Come on. What happens when I get to the tunnel? Does the water come through, or it acts like a dam? It's gonna act like a dam. But I could just do an underpass now. I don't have to use the tunnel. Okay, so we're gonna have to recreate these roads. That's fine. Okay, this is ridiculous. Please don't worry about it. We're just bringing the water in. It's fine. This is totally fine. Okay, so we'll do a little blob over here. We'll do a thin cut through in the middle. I should bring that in a little bit, and then we'll smooth it all out. That might work. Well, here, let's break our roads. This is, and again, you know what? I feel so good about all of this because we are keeping very much in tune with Boston history here. When it comes time to do a highway project that is going to affect lots of people and have tremendous impact on their lives. And basically what you do is you just destroy the highway and give no alternative means for transportation. They'll figure it out. People are survivors. Why did I do that? No, I want to do this. I want to level one more time here. Now that there's not a road in the way. There's still a road in the way, Mouse. Okay. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll remember to fix the road. It'll be fine. Okay. So what if we grab the slope here? Right? And then we can smooth it out after. Let's see what that fills up to. I don't think that's going to fill high enough that I'm going to like it. And then at that point, we'll just reload the save and put the other thing back. Oh, yeah. Scoop up the water constantly. That is true, too. That's not a bad idea because, like, We could certainly tuck that in the bottom of Beacon Hill right there. They'd have a very quick drive. Press X to doubt now. Well, maybe even the trick is now we can also hide a water outlet and raise the water, but it will hopefully drain out. I got to get rid of those trees at the bottom of the water. And those ones that are so awkward on the cliff edge there. We've really disconnected this part of the town. It should be creating some interesting traffic problems elsewhere. What is up with these trees? Is this what they do when they level up? Did I do this? Did I plant these trees? Are these these aren't my trees? These are part of the buildings? They're that tree covered? That's interesting. I did not know that. Well, that's perfect for over here. Yeah, Boston, people have been tuning in for Boston. I think I had 180 the other night. Like, I don't even know what was going on. It was like, I'm trying to think what DLC I had that many people watching streams. Like, it was 4 years ago. I don't even remember what DLC it was out, but it was like a free weekend or something. And I did a stream and I had that many people watching. So I was just like, I'm happy to see Boston resonating with people, even though I'm obliterating it here. Can we make this work? Can we hide a water outlet in here now to just raise the water level a little bit? Where are those? Are they in they're in the water, right? All the way at the end? Look at the pipe. Look at the pipe. Where's the pipe going? The pipe's going up in the air. That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't it put the pipes below the ground at that point? I mean, it's City Skylines Remastered on console. What am I saying? Okay. See, I don't think that's gonna... Do I have to flatten the ground more to put it up where I want it to go? Okay, can we move this now? Of course, the pipes are going to be in the way. Yeah, what if we had it up here? There's your nope, that didn't connect. Okay, hold on. All this because I forgot to build this into the map. What? Why is it? Did I put it the wrong way? I put it the wrong way. Like, why is it flooding from up the hill? If you had any false sense of me knowing what I'm doing, that should alleviate any of that. Okay, so we rotate. We pour the water towards the hole. Was this to see if you were paying attention? Pipe comes out the back. That makes more sense. Thanks, Joy. Appreciate it. Happy park building right back at you. Okay, so now that should be able to overflow just fine. In fact, it's not even going to fill it, is it? Of course not, because it's too much. It's just pouring it into an ocean. We need to narrow this gap, but not completely eliminate it. If anything, we want it to build up. We want it to build up in there. So that it gets washed out to sea. Yeah, I wouldn't worry. The pipes are fine. All right, let's connect Beacon Street back up. And in fact, I think Beacon Street, yeah, Beacon Street's going to get an upgrade. This is a pretty cool road. So the larger avenues, 4-lane with a separate tram. And then these, that's the wrong button. I don't know what these are from, but they're awesome. I got to find these roads. They're... How's that gonna... That's what you're gonna do? It's horrible. Let's see. Okay, that's okay. That should work. Does that... I mean, that can work. So yeah, I'm thinking of upgrading to this road basically. So it's a narrow street, but we're gonna do some tram traffic, which is really the closest thing I can get to some of the above ground metro cars. Technically, there's trolley car spots. Like some of the buses are hybrid, but they disconnect from the rail. And it's not required, so I wouldn't want to do the trolley lines. That's too much infrastructure wise. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it with the roads. But I hadn't used these before, and I think I might. So we're still going to do tram with narrow roads. Do I have disasters enabled? No, not random. That's good. The fire department is using this water. Okay, so we need to make this much shallower to have the effect that we're going for. You can tell me about the landscaping cost game. That's fine. We're on infinite money. It's not going to bother me. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now we got a little bit better of a flow. I think I could hide this better though now, right? I could put this at the bottom. Okay, I will mess with that. If we pinch this a little bit, that is the wrong, or we were set to the wrong level is what it was. Let's come in here. Really? Oh, because that water was in the ground that I brought up. We'll see if we can kind of dam it off here. Because at that point, it's not filling it all from the ocean, is it? It's just what's up there and whether or not it's overflowing. And I could clean up this bridge a little bit. And then I do have to reconnect this highway. This might actually settle okay, huh? Okay, let me sloppily reconnect Thorough Drive. We're not going to worry about it too much at the moment because I do want to totally redesign this over here anyways. Can we tunnel under here? No, okay. We'll have to flatten this out a bit. So it's definitely flowing out of there, but I think we can afford to have... Let's slope to here. Yeah, we could just run that off. Okay, I'll do something more creative with that. Let's bring the highway just above the ground, I guess. And this should be able to connect under here now? Yeah, because it's much less steep. And then we'll just hook up this baloney. Here, and then curves. That should be 3 off. Ugh, oh god, that's an exit. Welcome to Boston. It's flooded. Woo. Okay, back to the park. Because you know what? That's functional. It's functional. It's technically working. It's fine. Everything's fine. Crazy amount of office demand. We're going to have to... What I will probably do in the next episode is I'm going to frame out everything here. And we'll move that in and work on detailing and dropping in some skyscrapers and stuff. But we're going to have to keep pushing office for now because I eventually want to expand over in the seaport to do some farming and industry. But we're going to keep that over here in the South Boston side. We have to do a big train station too. At least a massive one here in the south and a respectable one up in the north. Okay. Yeah, no, I will fix this. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're really here, though, to talk about America's first park and how we can recreate some of that energy in the game. And so far, I'm feeling pretty good. We need some crisscross paths up in the north side. And then we need to... Well, we need to fix that highway, but we need to work on this a little bit landscaping wise. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see what this does to the water also. Because I don't have a pedestrian path or anything through here either. Oh yeah, that's gonna flood. That's gonna flood a bunch. We'll bring it up to like there maybe. See what it'll let me do around the road. Oh, it won't let me around the road, huh? There you go. That's totally fine. It's a shame I didn't think about this on map creation. It really would have made all this a lot easier. Storo Drive. It's so true to the city. It's so lifelike. I almost can't tell. Okay. We gotta get hooked in a little bit up here. So I think we have all these disconnected gates for the time being. We should do, let's see, which one is this one called? I can just eyedropper the variance of this, right? Eyedropper, this one? Can you not? Yeah, okay, eyedropper, there we go. Let's get 4 of those, because we can stamp them down. I gotta stop putting them where I'm about to build, though. That's something I gotta get better at. Can I not snap? Wait, do these have to be road snapped? Oh, these are technically... Okay, these aren't park objects. Okay. I can't pedestrian path snap these. Okay, so let's see what we got. We'll do 2 of these markets. Can we get 3 of these on the road? Why won't you let me snap over there? That's stupid. If I delete the zoning on that side, it'll probably let me. Okay, we're just gonna put 2 of these next to one another, and then we'll snake paths around them. Souvenir shop. This guy, or another one of these. I think another one of these. Okay, then we can run paths around them. Okay, we'll bring this out. We'll connect that through. Same thing here. If this lets us connect, nice. That's good. That's good. Okay, that works. And then let's see, how does this then all connect? Maybe one more cross, because we're gonna have a lot of streets over here on the beacon side. I gotta remember, like, I'm in my brain, this is just like one extension of the park, but actually it's a really dense neighborhood, so there's gonna be lots of cross streets that want to come back through here. So, you know, we could probably go parallel to that. So coming off of this, do we connect? No, we'll connect 2. So somewhere around here. And then I want to come off of this. Yeah, sure. That's fine. You know what? We'll curve this last one. Let's do that. And then just so there's a little bit of a bend in the path. We get right on the node. Thank you. It's subtle, but this is too crazy back here. I gotta fix this. I think we fix it by moving this down a little bit so that this path can just connect straight. Let's see, that was just regular path. Don't worry about the ugly highway. It's totally fine. It's to spec. I definitely am considering some pedestrian areas, specifically the north end. I was going to do that initially, and it just wasn't working. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I wasn't going to delay the first neighborhood to do it. So really what I got to come in here with is I got to figure out what's a good... What is the tree? Like, I'm not in love with a particular tree. Maybe if I had to do something like at a somewhat regular interval down a path, but like it needs to be bigger, and I need more variations of the U, basically. That would be awesome. We got 2 more in. Let's see. Well, it's a start. It's a start. I was hoping we were going to move more people in, but unfortunately, we need a lot more office space. So this is going to get filled up with residential. This up here is probably going to continue to be office park, just so it's relatively close for people. We haven't done any kind of transit work or anything, but you know what? That's Boston for you. Does it work? What do you want? It better? Too bad. We'll get there eventually, though, because this is new Boston. We're making improvements along the way, but we're repeating the mistakes as we go, and that's an important part to capturing the character of Boston. If you're enjoying and want to see more, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Leave a like. It does help the channel a lot. I'm going to be posting videos, though they are definitely going to lag behind. They're going to be a little bit more informative, 10 to 20 minute, maybe some infographics, more of the story and facts behind what I'm building, less of the rambling. But if you're here for the rambling, I appreciate that too. Again, there'll be plenty more of that. Oh my God, it's going to show that. Like, pretend that's not there. I will clean that up. I'll make that look a lot better. There'll be a nice little elevated highway segment over the water. It'll pretend like it never existed. Then again, next episode, it might still be there. Only way to find out is to tune in. So I will see you then. Until then, this is Move the Mouse awkwardly signing off, hoping you enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody. There it is. Had to get me one more time. Thanks a lot, camera. Appreciate you. Here's what it should have looked like.